Hi, welcome to my lesson plan. This is for a grade 2 class working on addition. Our goal today is as a WALT statement. We are learning to use a 5-step method to add two-digit numbers together where the numbers add to more than 10 in the ones column. And for that, we will be using our base 10 blocks and place value mat. For our quick counting today, we are going to start at a number in the top row, a single digit number, and we're going to count by tens. That means we say 10 more each time. So if I choose a number, for example 3, and we add 10 more each time, it will say 3, 13, 23, 33, etc. So count with me. 3, 13, 23, 33, 43, 53, 63, 73, 83, 93, 103. Let's choose another number. Put your hand up if you have a number. Okay, 7. 17, 21, 37, 47, 57, 67, 77, 87, 97, 107. Let's choose one more number. Okay, we'll do 5. 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 100. And here I will be counting fast, but paying attention to those people who maybe need a little bit more support with their counting. To add two-digit numbers. And we put our units or ones into these small boxes. Yesterday when we were counting, there was less than 10 in the ones column. Today there will be more than 10 in the tens column, and that's the problem that we're going to solve. We have had more than 10 in the ones column before when we were adding single digit numbers, but today it's just a matter that we have already got something in the tens column. Here is our advanced organizer, or here is the plan for the lesson today. So we'll start off with the background, where I'll give you extra information that you will use in the lesson, the things that you already know. Here is the part where I'll show you what to do. This is called I do. Then we will do it all together so you can have a practice with my help. This is called we do. Then it's your turn to practice what you have learnt. This is called you do. It's your turn. At the end of the lesson, we will review what we've learnt. I'll hand out the homework and you will have a think about what more we can do with this new skill that you've learnt. The words that we're going to use in our lesson today that you need to know are the base 10 blocks. I think you're very familiar with these now, but the base 10 blocks are these ones. The small one is worth 1, and the long ones are worth 10. The word trade, we have looked at this before, but I'm just going to remind you now. Trade means to swap for the same value. So if we have 10 ones, we can swap that for 1 10. And this is true with money as well as the base 10 blocks. This is how our number system works. If we have 10 10-cent coins, we can trade that for one $1 coin. They have the same value. If we have 10 $1 coins, we can trade that for one $10. They have the same value. We take that amount and we swap it for one of those. That's trade. Value means how much it's worth or the amount of it. 1 10 has the same value as 10 ones. $1 has the same value as 10 10-cent coins. 10 $1 coins has the same value as one $10 coin. Here is our 5-step plan for today. This is I do. I'm going to model this for you. So let's start off by looking at our number problem to start off with. Our number problem is 46 plus 38. Okay, 46 plus 38. I'm going to make those numbers with my base 10 blocks today. So step 1, using your base 10 blocks, make the first number on your place value mat. So I'm placing the ones into the ones column. There are 6 ones in the first number. 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 ones and 4 tens. 4 tens in this number. So let's put them on here. Now, for our next number, I'm putting it next to the place value mat. I'm going to count it out first next to the place value mat. So our next number is 38. So starting off with the ones, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 ones and 3 tens. And as you can see, the 8, we'll put them into 2 rows as well so you can see that a bit more clearly. 8 ones, 3 tens, 38. So step 1 was to make the first number on the place value mat. Step 2 is to put the second number next to the place value mat. Okay, this is so that I know that I've counted that out right before I mix the 2 groups together. So step 3 is to add the ones from the side of your place value mat. So I'm adding them onto my 6, filling up the rest of that column. But now you can see that that ones column is full. So I don't have space to put these 4 into this column. This is where the trading comes in. So if we just skip back here, trading. Step 3 is to trade. Step 4 is to trade. So I'm going to take these 4, just like we have done when we were looking at single digit numbers. Trade them. 10 ones, 1 10. Trade those. It has the same value. Now I can put the rest of my ones into my ones column, and I've already added the first group and traded them for a 10. I still have these 10s. That is step 5. Add the 10s from the side of the place value mat and make sure now all of the 10s from the problem are on the mat. That is the answer. So we'll count it up and tell what the answer is. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 80 and 4, 84. Step 1, put the first number on the mat. Step 2, put the second number next to the mat. Step 3, add the ones onto the mat. Step 4, when you have 10 ones in your ones column, you trade it for a 10. Step 5 is to add the rest of the base 10 blocks that are beside your mat onto your mat, so you have the answer and you can count those. 5 steps. Let's go on to our guided practice, and we're going to do that together. So I'll read it, we'll read it together, one step at a time, with you making it in front of you with your own place value mats and with your counters. Okay, so the students will hand those around. They can have either one between two, if that's how your group is, or they could have one each. But yeah, so now we will say guided practice. The guided practice question we have is 27 plus 39. So first thing is to make the 27, that's the first number. Put the 27 onto your place value mat, and at this point I would be asking one person to come into the middle of the circle and to give the demonstration, and then just cast my eyes around and make sure that everybody has their work set out the same as mine. 27, and then we make the second number. 1, 2, 3, 3 lots of 10 plus 9 ones. Get one of the students to come out and model for the whole group. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, just pointing out that this is where we're checking our answer. So we have 27 is the first number. Did we get that right? Yes, great work. 39 is the second number. It's off the mat now, so we can make sure we get that number right before we add it in. 27 plus 39. Step 3 is to start with the ones and add them in. You can ask the class to read that step with you, ask a student to come forward and model, check that everybody is doing that on their own place value mat, and that they've all understood that step. So we're going to trade. Take all of those 10 off and take another one out of the ice cream container. Remind the students that it doesn't come from here. That could be something to look for. Where are you getting that 10 from? You can't take it away from the 39. This is trading from the ice cream container. The trade goes into the ice cream container. And then we put the rest of the counters, the rest of the base 10 blocks onto the place value mat. Make sure all the ones are on the place value mat is the end of step 4, and step 5 is to put the rest of the 10s on so that you can count your total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have already counted We've already practiced counting from off the decade. So we could now go 6, 16, 26, 36, 46, 56, 66. That's our answer. And I have a second question on the board, but I would only do that if I can see that people are struggling. At this point, that's just an optional extra, and if I can see that the class has got it well. Now it is time for our independent phase, and the students will be recording their answers just on the place value mat. There will be no need for formally recording in any books. The teacher will simply circulate the room and check on the answers. Having a class list with the lesson goal at the top, and then ticking off all the students who achieved the goal as anticipated, and making a note of any students who are struggling or possibly those who need extension. So on the board we have the 5 steps for the process, and also the 3 questions that the students will be working on. Some students may need to have those 3 questions written right in front of them, or it can be displayed on the board. So the students are expected to work independently. They can stay on the carpet, they can stay somewhere on the floor if they like, or they can move to a desk with their place value mat and their ice cream container full of the 10s and 1s. So during this phase, the teachers will be assisting students by bringing them back to the 5-step method. There is no need to give the students the answers, but just reminding them constantly to look back at the 5-step method. And possibly asking them, why do we do this? After the students have all packed up their base 10 blocks into their ice cream containers and brought their place value mats back to the front of the room, it's time to talk about homework. So these 3 questions will already be on the students' homework sheet that is handed out each week. And to help them with the concrete materials at home, I have put together some Ziploc bags, and inside the bag are paddle pop sticks for the 10s and some dried kidney beans that they can use in place of the units. Again, you can just use whatever you feel comfortable with in your class. You may go so far as to cut out the cardboard 10s and 1s for them to use, or find something that represents the materials that we're using at school. We finished the lesson with the review and talking about the next lesson. So I will ask the students to tell the person next to them the 5-step method that we learnt today, listening in and providing any support for students who need the extra help. It doesn't matter if the students are using the language that I've used. If they put it in their own words, that's great. It means they're internalising it. Following that, we'll have a short visualisation, and I'll just read through the visualisation that I've written. Now it's time to talk about why it's important to be clear about the value of the numbers. It's much easier to see the value when we use the base 10 blocks. With more practice, you'll read the blocks in your head and just write down the numbers. Let's practice now. Close your eyes. I will say a number and you picture the 10s and 1s in your head. The number is 37. Show me with your fingers how many 10s can you see in your head when I say 37. So check everybody's holding up their fingers, and How many ones can you see when I say 37? Show me on your fingers. This is quite challenging for some students, so it depends on your class whether you want them to just visualize it or if you want them to hold their fingers up as well. At this point, ask for any questions, have a discussion if necessary. Remember to keep it focused on the learning intention. And you can ask the students, what more would we be able to do with these numbers or with this process? And you might have the option of asking them to visualize the place value match and discussing that it says ones and tens and hundreds, or you might simply explain, tomorrow we'll be learning how to trade if you have more than 10 tens in the tens column. And hopefully they'll find that just as exciting as I do. Thank you, and I look forward to your feedback.